There's probably animals lurking here.
Florida Department of Environmental Protection's Kevin Claridge and Michelle Harmeline are hiking a dusty path where one would expect to find the Peace River. But the only evidence of animals are the remains of dead fish trapped when the water dried up. For 5 miles, the upper Peace River is quite literally in pieces. It's shallow in some places. In others, it's a series of detached puddles. Here, it's bone dry.
The water levels are very low right now, if not non-existent, because of the lack of rainfall.
Before mining, agriculture, development, and drought wreaked havoc on the area's water flow. Groundwater would force its way out of springs or large holes in the limestone riverbed and add to the flow of the river. Now it works in reverse. With the aquifer drawn down by humans and stressed by drought, the remaining river water and its fish have drained into the aquifer rather than flow downstream.
Started beginning of this month, really, when we finally lost water in our karst features, those last areas where it would be ponding up. So just a slow, gradual trend over the last few months. We're bone dry, probably a few weeks now.
Restoring the Upper Peace River watershed will be a monumental undertaking requiring a thorough understanding of the reasons the Peace runs dry. That understanding has come in the form of a cumulative impact study conducted by DEP.
We looked at and concluded that it was a combination of many variables, including natural processes such as rainfall, but also human-based activities such as urbanization or urban sprawl and growth up and down the basin, from Lakeland, Bartow sprawling area to down to Charlotte Harbor, even a lot of urban growth down there. Also agricultural impacts in the area, as well as in the northern part of the basin where we are now, is a phosphate mining impact.
Strategies to address the impacts have been developed by DEP in coordination with the Southwest Florida Water Management District and basin stakeholders as part of the Peace River Basin Management Plan. The strategies include wetlands restoration projects at places like Tenorock Fish Management Area, a former phosphate mine, and a major restoration effort at Lake Hancock, the largest and one of the most polluted lakes in the watershed. Among those working to implement those strategies is the Southwest Florida Water Management District's Mark Hammond.
Lake Hancock is one component that will help to restore the minimum flows to the Upper Peace River. We're also looking to treat the water coming out of Lake Hancock. Lake Hancock, while it's a great productive system for fish and wildlife, the water quality is some of the worst in the state. And we're looking to treat the water coming out of Lake Hancock, because that water coming out of Hancock impacts the Upper Peace River.
It also ultimately affects Charlotte Harbor, one of the state's healthiest estuaries and a world-class sport fishing destination located 105 miles downstream from Lake Hancock.
In the spring, the tarpon congregate right here, and consequently the bull sharks congregate behind the tarpons, and this is it is like the world's largest tarpon fishing tournament here.
That's Judy Ott, a DEP biologist. For several years, she and other scientists have been monitoring fresh water flow and salinity changes, along with seagrass, which is a key indicator of the health of Charlotte Harbor.
In the Charlotte Harbor system, it's the seagrasses that are the fundamental habitat that supports the great complex diversity of fisheries and mammals and invertebrates.
Ott is exploring Charlotte Harbor Estuary with Catherine Corbett, a senior scientist with Charlotte Harbor National Estuary Program. She explains why the Peace River's flow is so important to the estuary.
The long-term sustainable health of the estuaries depends on the health of the water that's entering and replenishing the estuaries, and each of the estuaries has a certain turnaround time when it flushes the fresh water with the Gulf of Mexico water. And alterations in not only the quality but the quantity of water coming into the estuaries, as well as the timing, interrupt the interconnections that make the estuaries so productive. That complexity is really important to maintain.
Understanding that complexity is critical to helping shape restoration plans in the Peace River watershed.
Our knowledge of how the watershed systems help protect the rivers and then ultimately the estuaries has been increasing over the last several years. And so there are times when we have to go back to existing land uses and restore that connection to the wetlands, to the smaller tributaries, to the smaller streams, and into the major rivers like the Peace River.
Restoring the connection is what the Peace River Basin Management Plan is trying to address. The process requires sound science, citizen support, and, according to Mark Hammond, a long-term commitment to restoration.
This is a continuing process that will occur over many years. The impacts didn't occur in a year, and the restoration won't occur over a few years. It's something there that we'll be working on for a long time.